So this is a response to Stubby Johnson, squitmaa, is his handle on YouTube here. Yeah, dude, I love the Spartacus 300 style opening that you had there. At any rate, yeah, you said you'd be interested in my feedback. So I have a couple questions here for you. Um, so first of all, I noticed that you kind of skipped over. You started going backwards through my video there, and you started with Jacob wrestling with God. And yeah, it must have been a god rather than an angel there, because I mean his name was changed to the dude who wrestled with God, right? It's not the dude who wrestled with the angel. Um, the question is, was God or was God not an asshole in this little story here? Well, God did give him a wound, right? So, but I find it even more interesting. Why did you skip over the story of the binding of Isaac? I really would like to know what you think about the story of the binding of Isaac. This is I've spent many dark nights thinking about the binding of Isaac and how you could possibly reconcile that story with any kind of a god that you really want to worship. Um, Your point about God, I'm reading my notes off my new iPhone. I just got a new iPhone, so I'm feeling particularly cool tonight. Your point about God being able, it's okay for God to kill somebody because God can undo a killing. Okay, I've never heard that point before. This is a very interesting. It's a very interesting point. So let's talk about this for a while. So basically, what you're saying is, it's okay for God to do something that He can undo, right? Okay, well, let's probe this a little bit. So, for example, I can't undo a killing, right? But there are some things that I can undo. Okay, so for example, if I steal $10, I can pay the $10 back, right? So, does this make it okay for me to steal the $10 just because I can undo it or I can compensate for it? I don't think so, and I don't really think this kind of exculpates God just because of the God has these tons of more abilities than we have. And in fact, okay, if I could take this point that you've made about God here, God being infinite power, He's got all this stuff. He can do anything. He can undo anything, right? Let's take it and bring it up against your point of God had to put us into a sinful world, a world of suffering, because He wanted to teach us compassion. Um, I think you know the if I want to teach my kids something, yeah, I mean, sure, I'll let them suffer a little bit sometimes, right? To find out what where the pain points are and all this kind of stuff, right? But the only reason I do that is because I'm not all powerful, right? I mean, if I could just snap my fingers and have my kids turn out any way I wanted to, which putatively God can do, right? I mean, it's like, why would God need to put us into a world of suffering for us to learn compassion? And in fact, if there was no suffering in the world, why would we even need compassion, right? Um, so I think the more you magnify God this way, the more power you give to God, the more abilities that you give to God, the fewer and fewer excuses you leave to God for putting us in the situation that we're in right now. And so I guess my question to you would be, how could this, if God really wants to teach us something, why didn't He just create us that way in the first place? Why didn't He just create us full of all kinds of compassion or full of all kinds of stuff? At any rate, thanks for your video response.